Hello. You are tuned into chaos as usual. It is it is 10:41, guys. 10:41. To say that I am exhausted is an understatement, but I finished my event yesterday and I just needed to like rest a little bit. I'm kind of starting to learn a lot about my events and learn that, for me, they take a toll out of me, not in a bad way, but like they take a lot out of me just simply because like it's so much energy and I'm so like anxious before it happens and putting all of that into prep is a lot. And so it just takes a lot, but I'm here. I am caffeinated with tea as usual. I don't know if I ever explained this to you guys about why I don't drink coffee. I have anxiety. Duh. Actually, I have severe anxiety. My medications actually just got upped, and I have clonazepam now, which came with strict instructions. But I have clonazepam now to kind of combat the what is the word I'm looking for? Severe and like panic is for panic disorders, which apparently I have developed. Go fucking figure. Yeah, so I got up again. I can't even say like I'm upset about it or anything. I think at this point it kind of just is what it is. And I'm just going along with the journey and everything like that. So, other than that, it's been an interesting journey, but we'll get into it after we run that intro. So, let's go. Hey, Unbothered fam, and welcome back to another episode of Basically Unbothered Recapped, where we recap what's going on in the world and we also recap what's going on with me. Let's see. First of all, I don't think I've said it yet. Happy Pride. There was there was a couple conversations at work recently that just had like tickled me. The first one was something about like my month. And I was like, which part are we talking about? Juneteenth or are we talking about Pride? And they were like both. And I was like, thank you. And then it's so funny because I was fussing at my coworkers on a Saturday because they don't fill up this like towel thing that we have. And you're supposed to like roll up the towels and put them there. So there's multiple towels. They never do it. And I was fussing at them in front of a customer and it was jocularly. And or like the customer overheard and the customer was like, are you part of the LGBT community? And I was like, I am one of the queer folk. And they were like, they're homophobic. All of us died laughing. It was the funniest fucking shit ever. Like, I need more of that energy in my life all the fucking time. It was classic. It was exactly what the fuck I needed in my life. So that was such a good energy or like vibe to just kind of go off of. But I have had some struggles with work. You guys know I don't talk much about like that part of my life because I do like to keep that part really separate. I'm not a person, I'm very sensitive and I'm also very loyal. And even though I'm sensitive, I'm a very honest person and I'm a person who kind of just likes for things to be straight up and forward. And my intuition is always telling me that's like, I might not know what it is, but my intuition usually tells me like, hey, something's up. And like that happened. And my intuition was telling me that something was up and I just didn't know what it was. And so, I later on found out through a situation that happened and it was really hurtful. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to pretend like it wasn't. It was really, really hurtful. And right now I'm just trying to like move past all of it and do the best that I can. I still believe that everything happens for a reason, even if you don't know what that reason is. And I may not know what that reason is, but like I have to have faith that whatever is going on in my life right now, where it feels really upended, there's a reason for that, and I just have to, like, trust the process. I just have to, like, trust that process, which is really fucking stressful. Um, and it's hard when you're so close to your coworkers, and I told myself a long time ago that I wasn't gonna do that again. After I was with lying, cheating ex and everything went down with a big situation, all of my friends who were my coworkers, they kinda just turned on me and blamed me for, like, being cheated on, and blamed me for my reactions and how I handled it and everything like that, and so I compartmentalized all of my boxes. It was like, I'm not gonna be friends with coworkers again, and I try to hold on to those boxes, and that it kinda blurred. My coworkers have been there for me for so many things, and, like, I've say it all the time, I'm so fucking grateful to them, but sometimes when all the lines get blurred, it's really hard to, like, understand and to cope with things, and, it's been a really difficult, like, period for me having to deal with that. Everything in my life always feels like it's so fucking chaotic, and I was, like, crying to my dad, and I was like, "All I want is peace." Like, I don't know if anybody realizes that about me, but legitimately, all I want is peace. I just want peace. I just wanna be happy. I wanna spend my life writing books and promoting indie authors and running my bookstore and doing this podcast, and I don't really want the drama. Like, I really don't. I just want peace. I feel like I deserve it. I've been through so much, and I've given so much love and so much grace in areas all over, and I just want some of that on my own, I guess. But I also can't control everything, and I have to learn how to let go. So, that's been really hard. There's been stuff going on personally, but I've been I'm gonna talk about it soon. I've already recorded the episode. I just haven't published it yet. I'm finishing with the OG, basically Unbothered, a two-part series. And then I'm gonna get into my two-part series where I tell my story, and that is really difficult. It has been a really, really difficult time for me. Um, just right around this time is really difficult with my grandma died around this time, and I'm really close to the time that my best friend killed herself, and also really close to the time when something really bad happened to me. And when I started the relationship that led to something really bad happening to me. And so it's complicated. It is. And I'm just trying to like find my way through all of this the best that I can. That's all that any of us in this like life can do. And so even though I tried, my moods shifted at work and I wasn't aware of it necessarily. I think there were certain things where I was like, yeah, I'm a little edgy today, and I'd been having a lot more anxiety, but I was made aware that like my moods are very inconsistent. And this is why I think like the workplace in America sometimes is really fucked because there is no wiggle room for you to like be a human being sometimes. There's always this, and I'm not blank, like I want to be very clear when I say this. I'm not blaming anyone. I'm not saying it's anyone's fault. I'm just saying that in America, we are taught to push our emotions to the side. And that's not something that they're taught in every other country. Like that is something that is specific here. And we are taught to push our feelings to the side and, you know, sacrifice our emotional well-being sometimes for customer service or for the job, and there's no room for you to kind of heal. And we also don't have the ability, most of us, to afford to be able to take off time to heal, and that's just like a really shitty situation all around. So I've been struggling with something very hard and something I just didn't have words to grasp or to use or to understand, and that carried over into my workplace, and I made the adjustments. I went to my psychiatrist. Luckily I had a meeting with him and we made the adjustments. We upped my Buspar. We gave me clonazepam in case I have panic attacks at work. And I hope that helps because I don't want to be the downer. I don't want to be the emotional person at work. Like I've only ever wanted just to give out good energy and happiness and be honest and realistic. Like I don't believe in toxic positivity. I don't believe in pretending that everything is okay. And I'm gonna mess up her name and I'm so sorry. Garma. Garma? Garma. She was on the podcast. She's the two-part that we have right now. She just posted something onto her Substack because I read her Substack. They're fantastic. And it was talking about how when you emerge from grief, you look like a new person and there's things that you don't want to do. And this isn't the fault of my job or my coworkers, but between my mom getting stage 4 cancer, my grandma passing away, me dealing with all the health things that I've had to, my best friend passing away, filing for bankruptcy, losing my house, losing one of my dogs, having to move in with a parent, like my brother being hit by a car. Like there's so many things that have happened. And the last year, 2 years that are just like, I've changed because of it. What I'm looking for, what I'm hoping for has changed. What the person that I want to be has changed. When I checked myself in and I realized now that it was right after the funeral for my best friend. And there were so many things that in that funeral I kept in to myself. Um, there were so many injustices that happened to me as her best friend, as someone who we considered each other's sisters. And I don't know if it was because we were fighting at the time and I'll never know, but there were a lot of injustices that happened to me. And for the most of her funeral, I didn't even cry. Um, I kept it all in. I didn't cry at my grandmother's funeral either. I just kept it all in. And I think that is one of the biggest things that contributed to me checking myself in is because I just keep it all in. And my therapist and I have talked about it and he was like, you can't do that. Like you have to talk about how you feel. You have to be honest about how you feel. And I'm a blunt person in general. And so now I guess I was practicing like radical honesty and just saying how I felt and what's going on with me. I still did it with a joke on my face. And I'm always been a dark humor person. I will always be a dark humor person. That's the way I'm gonna approach things. But there's not always the time and space for honesty. And I don't agree with that personally, but I also understand the world and the time period that I live in, and I have to respect that. But for me, personally, that's shifted to save my life. And to be able to keep going on, there's things that I've done and sacrificed so that I could continue to keep pushing on and to keep going because I don't want to not be here. And that's also nobody else's responsibility but mine. And that's why I'm working so hard to push the books and to push my brand and the podcast and the store and everything like that so that I can live in my truth and that be okay. Really, that's it. So that's been going on. On the positive note, I did have a book signing and it went well. I always have this issue where we're being honest, where I want more people to show up because I want the more people to validate me and my success because I don't think that, like success right now is numbers. So when I put in an application for Sidetrack, they asked how many people I could bring in. And that's always in the back of my mind as an author. Like, how many people can I bring in? Am I going to be able to justify this? Or will the place look back at it and be like, we should have never done this with a small indie author. We should have went with someone else who had a better following. And that's a fucked way to view this industry, but it's still the way that we view this industry. And so I always get stuck on numbers because I think that the number of people will validate me as an author. And even though I struggled with that as well, I really started living in the quality over quantity. And the people that showed up were amazing. I got to take pictures with them. Um, Love and Other Books is where I did it. They were fantastic. I would recommend for any author to go there and to do it because they really put effort into it. Like the people who worked there started reading my book. Um, they had questions to ask. Like it wasn't just me like question and answering to people who've never read my book. They had questions prepared for me, and it was so fantastic, and they were so kind. And no matter how big I grow, I hope to always be able to do something there. And I'm always going to keep that in mind that they were the first bookstore to kind of give me this chance to do it. And it went great. The people were there great. I got to talk. And I think I can be really captivating when I speak sometimes. Obviously, podcasts. I think I can be really captivating when I speak sometimes. And so getting to really tell my story and my whys and why did I make my book this way? I love doing that. I told everybody who bought a book, they're like, hey, you can shoot me a message on Instagram whenever you want. I actually love that. I actually love going down the journey with the people who are reading my book. It makes me so freaking like amped up and excited. It's because I'm sharing, like, I wrote this to share these journeys with you. So when you guys message me, and tell me about that journey that you went through with one of my books, I fucking love it. Keep doing it. Like, I get so weirded out when people send me DMs about random things. But if you send me a DM about where you are in my book and you're pissed off at me or you love it or I'm so happy. Let's do it. So that was really good. I'm very glad that I got to do the event. And kind of affirmating thing was that right after the event, I got an email to possibly do a pop up at a bookstore. I'm working with someone that I met at a vendor event a long time ago to possibly do a pop up and author signing there. I did get turned down by one market, whatever. If it's not for me, it's not for me. I have a pop up coming up next month. It's coming up soon, actually. I got to get some things ordered that I'm also really excited about. So I'm just trying to live in that like truth and enjoy this journey because this journey is so amazing to me. Being able to talk about my book and indie author books and sell them and build the store has been so fucking fantastic. Um, I just enjoy it so much, but I could talk about this for days. I'll give you guys more updates as we come because the store has been doing things. Um, Unfortunately, we have a sale going on, but by the time you guys hear this, maybe I'll extend it. I'll extend it so that for you guys who are listening to this podcast and you want to go shop my books or other indie authors' books, we're doing the summer solstice sale and it's 10% off of everything, the books, the candles, the bookmarks, the stickers, all of it. So there's that. Let's get into our pop culture. All right. Our, our first thing. So we talked about how I don't like seek out these things unless I'm building the podcast itself with guests. And then I like go through things and I pick them out. But the stuff that I talk about here are usually just things that I'm scrolling on social media and they pop up. This one popped up because I knew what the fuck it was doing. Okay. Professional sports are known to make and take notice of big events that are going on in the world, like holiday calendar events. So Breast Awareness Month, Black History Month. There's so many things that, they do. Obviously, they're going to do something huge for July 4th, Juneteenth, which is the day that I'm recording this. They also do something for Pride. I have a lot to say about this topic that's coming up, but I want it to be clear first. Supporting Pride doesn't mean you 100% agree with that lifestyle. It means that you support someone's ability to live their life as they choose without harming anyone else. And before I could fully identify as queer and I really understood what that was, and so many people ask me, like, Gabby, what does it mean when you say you're queer? And I'm like, I don't like labels. I've never fucking liked labels. And I've gone deep dived through these pride names, the LGBTQIA. I've gone through all of these things that fall under the rhythm. I mean, there's so many. There was one that I was thinking about, and I'm trying to see if I can remember what it was. It was basically like you are heterosexual, but you're flexible, and there was like you're homosexual, but you're flexible. There's so many terms, and I just don't like them. I like people. I think that people are attractive, full end. We could go into pan, we could go into all these other things. I don't care. I don't want the label because with the label also comes like these expectations. Like if I'm pan, I have to be able to date all these people. And if I don't date these people, if I only date a certain gender or orientation or whatever, then something's wrong with me. And like I don't I don't care for that. Like I'm not going to abide by anybody else's rules. That's how I am. But before I've identified myself, I was an ally and I never understood why it mattered, even as a kid. I just didn't fucking get it, right? Like, I don't understand. Where did this all come from? The hate for it is just so crazy. And I'm saying all this because what happened was the San Francisco Giants were having a pride night, which every team in the MLB does. Their pitchers decided to protest this. One pitcher chose not to wear the hat and honestly don't give a fuck. Truly and honestly do not give a fuck. If you don't want to wear the hat, I don't care. Like I really, truly do not care. For some other people in the queer community, that may matter to them and that's their respect. For me, I don't give a shit. If you don't want to support me, I don't want you to support me. Legitimately. I don't want your fake support. I don't want you to pretend. If you're not feeling it, don't feel it. Represent what you want to represent. I don't think that I can push my values on anybody else either. And if my values differ from your values, okay. As long as you aren't wishing me ill, voting against my rights, or trying to do me harm, I don't care. But outside of that, I think it was 3 other pitchers decided to deface their hats and put Genesis, and I want to get this correctly. I believe they put Genesis 9-12-22 on the shirt. I just looked up their score. They lost. They put Genesis 9-12-16 on their pride caps. The passage describes the rainbow as a sign of God's covenant with the earth. I talked to my dad. We know I'm not religious. Let's be clear. We all know I'm not religious. I talked to my father about this. And I was like, God is an inanimate object. To be clear, scientifically speaking, God is a thing that we can't touch or feel. A rainbow is a thing. At least we can see it, but we also can't really touch or feel it. A rainbow doesn't belong to a religion, nor does the rainbow belong to pride. It's just the symbol that they chose to use, which if you look up like the definition of a rainbow and what it usually means is inclusion and acceptance and all the colors and all the different things coming together to make something beautiful. That was the purpose of it. We're basing our opinions about what a rainbow belongs to. Again, it doesn't belong to anybody on this godly earth, if you will. It doesn't belong to God either. It's a thing. It's a thing. And one of the biggest things that has to come out of this is that we have to realize that Christianity is not the only religion in the world. And to continue to claim that this item belongs to one religion and one religion only is wild. And just like unacceptable, guys. Like, really, at this point, like, again, feel how the fuck you feel. But don't deface your fucking hat because you're mad about a rainbow. I want you to realize these are grown-ass men defacing a hat because they're mad about a rainbow in arguably one of the most queer diverse cities in the country. I looked this up, and now what they're trying to say is that the Justice Department says will investigate the MLB amid Pride hat controversy. Exclusive DOJ civil rights chief slams Giants MLB after launching Pride hat investigation. But they're saying that they're wondering if it violated the players' religious rights. Hear me out again. 3 of those players got threatened to be fined. They should have been fined because from all my research, if you deface your uniform in any way, you're fined automatically. You know that as a rule. So writing on this hat was against MLB policy. And the crappy part is you still wore the hat. Like, yes, what did you think you were doing? You're still showing the rainbow. Just because your sloppy ass handwriting writes Genesis 9:22:16 next to it, because you got felt tip pens in silver from Amazon, you still wore the fucking hat. Like, wouldn't the protest be better if you just didn't wear, like, no one would be as pissed off if you just didn't wear the hat. And where it comes into this religious freedom thing, that's funny. I want them, guys, I want them to really open this investigation into religious freedom. There are religions in this country that view abortion laws way differently than we do. And they view that the life of the mother is more important than the life of the unborn child. Their religious rights are actually being infringed on at this moment because the quasi-Christians in this country think that they have the cap on religion and that everybody has to be Christian. It's so wild because if you think about Christianity, it was formed out of a place where they were outcasted, where this religion was outcasted, where Judaism was the religion and anyone who was Christian was looked down upon. And somehow, some way, that value of every religion is important and should be respected does not translate into the religion of Christianity anymore. And people are really confused why people are pissed off at it and why people are converting and changing and looking at different things and challenging their values, because this isn't what you stood for. This isn't what your Bible stood for. If you don't want to wear the hat, don't fucking wear the hat. But don't show active hate against a community because your belief differs from theirs. Queer people don't show active hate for the community that doesn't support them. Do what the fuck you want to do. What queer people want is to love, to live, and to be safe. Accept it would be nice. Sure. But give me the basics of surviving through life first. And then we can get into these other topics. But the fact that these grown men just simply couldn't, imagine you went to work and they have a uniform and they have a uniform and then you just don't give a fuck. You write on the uniform. The way that you would be in the MLB as a job, the way that you would be in so much motherfucking trouble, and the fact that you didn't fine them for defacing their hat, but you would fine other people for writing their kids' names on their jerseys or shit. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. I don't know what those players thought they were doing, but I don't think they realize that their money comes from how many people go to their games. Their fandom is in a place that is one of the most queer acceptable places in America. Maybe you should just play for a different team. Apparently, all the pitchers suck anyways, so maybe you really should go play for... Maybe if there were pitchers who were queer accepting, y'all would be winning games. Shit, did I say it? My bad. You don't have to believe in something to not give it hate. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, I don't believe in God. I don't believe in Christianity. Outside of the values that they use to oppress other people, I have no hate for it. My entire family believes in God. And when they pray, I don't, but I sit and I am quiet and I let them finish. Or if they're doing like a group prayer, I'll step outside and let them finish. I don't give them any hate. I don't give them any whatever about it. That's their life. They should live it as they want to fucking live it. Period. So we'll see if this gets anything, but like, guys, some people don't think it's stupid to open up a case that's just going to open up another case that's going to possibly prevent you from getting. This is just dumb. I can't believe this. I can't believe that this is the America that we live in. Sometimes I really can't, and I can fucking finally say it. I cannot believe that this is the America that we live in. And the fact that worldwide people have to hear this and just look at us with shame. Like, that's just, it's crazy. All right, I could, off my soapbox. All right, this Bunny and Jelly Roll split. That's our next topic. And at first, guys, I was coming guns blazing because everybody on TikTok was hyping me up. Like Bunny, you know, he was homeless and Bunny gave him a place to stay and helped him start his career and helped him get his kids back and blah, 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 blah. He put him up on and then he divorced her. And I was ready to just discuss how this is such a common thing that when women take men and they build them up from, and it is still a common thing, women take men and they build them up from nothing. And then men resent them for it. And then men want to go look for something else because now they got it. They got the confidence. They got everything they wanted to get from this person. And that's all they needed. Because sometimes the menfolk, I've been saying menfolk now, guys, the menfolk look at a relationship as what can I gain? And this is one of the reasons why I've decided that I no longer want a romantic relationship. Y'all are going to take this way I already know that my comment section's about to be fucking crazy. But it's the truth. I don't see the point. I told my dad the other day, I'm 34 years old. I've been in my adult life, I've been in 3 relationships with 3 people whom I loved. All 3 of those people have done me wrong. I still love them. I don't wish them any harm. None of them. I feel like I got my fill. I feel like I got it. Like I have been loved. Maybe not in a whole and healthy sense, but I've been loved and now I'm done. I don't want that anymore. I feel like romantic love is such an inferior love to everything else because it's one of the loves that requires something. It has the most insecurity and creates the most resentment and fire. It's so weird. It changes who you are and often not for the better. For me, it changes who I am. Like, I don't ever want to be the person I am in a relationship. And I'm not even bad in a relationship, but I sacrifice myself and I give my all to a person and I lose myself. And now you could say, oh, well, you just need to do more therapy. Yeah, absolutely. But I also don't ever want to put myself in that position again. And things change and maybe one day I'll change my mind, but like, I don't see the purpose of it. I could 100% do platonic partnerships. I think platonic partnerships should get more rep because that comes from a mutual respect. That comes from not necessarily what can we get out of someone, but what can we build together without having to require intimacy or sex or even loyalty in that sense. Like if the loyalty I require from a platonic partner is that we're down this road together. You want to go chit chat with other people or girl, whatever. The loyalty I require is that we just come into this 50-50 and we work on that together. And the funny thing is, I think that that is one of the things that relationships are missing right now, is that the conversation about what is 50-50 is gone because gender roles, traditional gender roles are gone. And instead of shifting into what does that look like now and changing the way that we see relationships, we're like fighting at each other. And that's not what I want. I want to go in and be like, this is what I offer. This is what you offer. This is what I need. This is what, like, a business. It's funny because on Coffee Convos with Kellari and Lindsay Chrisley, they talked about how their friendship has lasted the most, even though they haven't been friends, and their business has lasted so long because they didn't start as friends. They started as business partners. And that, at the end of the day, was always the most important thing to them. That's what I want. That's what I want. But to the bunny and jelly roll of it all, I was ready to come guns blazing. Pew, 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 pew. But Bunny has a podcast, and I haven't listened to all of it. But she is talking about her relationship with Jelly Rollin'. She's talking about the split and about how amicable it is and how much she loves him. I just saw a clip when I was preparing for this, when I was in the bathroom, and she was like, yeah, he's dating now, and I love that for him. I love that statement, period, right? In relationships, we feel like a possession over the person that we're with. I hate that. I hate that so much. I really, really, really do. I wish that we could let that go. But we do. We feel some form of possession over the people that we're in a relationship with. And letting that go to just love somebody is a beautiful thing. People question me all the time and ask me, why am I still friends with my ex? And I said, because we formed a friendship before we formed a relationship. And I always do that because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, I still want the friendship. And I am friends with my exes. Variably. Not with the most recent one, but you guys will find out why. But I am friends with my exes. And so, like, that is just, if it's amicable, she's not talking shit about him, we shouldn't either. Let them be. Let them figure it out. She said that there was a fight and they had, like, in their marriage, a thing where, like, never say divorce, which is so hilarious. I remember it was one of the bunnies, Kendra. She was married to, like, a football player, and they said that, and then they had been getting divorced, and it was like, uh, uh. um, but she said that he had said it many times, but when she said it, it was like, oh. And she said she didn't really mean it. She was just really fed up and, didn't talk to him, and then he did it. And she's like, it's no hate. That's his choice or whatever. I love, and clearly this piece is coming from, she's had a lot of time to process this because this happened over a month ago. And, like, having the time to process shit really changes the fucking game, guys. Like, we need to stop trying to make comments and statements right out the gate before we've had time to really process information. That was one of the things that when I had my conversation at work, I didn't tell them, what I was feeling or what I was thinking at that time because I need to process. I need to think it through. I need to hear it out. I need to weigh the pros and the cons. I need to see if there's truth to it or validity to it. And I can't do that put on the spot in a moment. My brain needs to not be in this high pressure zone where people are looking at me and they're asking me for things. It has to be when my mind is truly settled on it and it feels okay. And that is honestly the most important thing to me. And so giving time to process, like, if I could give you guys, just because I don't want to be in a romantic relationship does not mean that I don't want that for other people. I think that we as people get to choose how we live our lives, and you choose what's best for you, and I'm gonna choose what's best for me. If I can pass my advice to people who do want to be in romantic relationships and you get into fights and you get in all these things, give time to process it. If you get in a fight, don't just jump back in. Really give yourself time to process it, because when you get into these fights, the first thing that you're doing is you're like fight or flight. is being triggered. Someone is saying these things to you and your immediate things like, I have to get them back or, whatever. And you're not even hearing or listening to the conversation. I liked having most of my conversations via text message because I cannot process it. And because I'm an empath, I absorb all of it and then I instantly feel like I'm shit. And I need some time to think and be like, no, actually, they're kind of shit too, or whatever. You have to give your brain time to think and to process it because if you don't, you're never going to be making the right decision. You're only going to be making a decision based out of fear. And you should never make any decision in your life based out of fear. Now, I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but I am saying that like you shouldn't. You shouldn't make any decision in your life based out of fear. Um, that's my last take. Our last topic is Bea in the media because we're covering Love Island, and don't worry, guys, we got our Love Island topics of the week. It's Friday night. I watched Friday night's episode, so but catching up on our Love Island stuff before we get into this new week. Bea was kicked off the island last Friday. Because they did a recoupling and it was between her and Melanie for Corbin, and Corbin picked Melanie because America voted. We'll get into that too. But Bea went on the After Sun, and one of the things that people are really starting to notice is what they're calling the one-sided beef. Bea seems to be having a one-sided beef with Melanie, and we're just like, girl, give it up. It's so weird. And people are commenting about it because then Bea is giving Sincere this grace that she doesn't give Melanie. And people are like, oh, that's so weird that she's like defending Sincere for being a fuckboy, but like Melanie was just living her life having fun and she's hypercritical of her. And I'm here to tell you guys, it is because Beatrice is a guy's girl. She is an athlete. She lives in a guy's world per se. She probably spent a lot of time around guys. This isn't a bad thing. I used to be a guy's girl. I used to be a guy's girl. And I still love hanging out with I love hanging out with men. Sometimes I love hanging out with them more than women because like there's a difference in like what you have to show up for when you hang around men than when you hang around women. And like I know that with my men friends, I can just like talk shit and not really give a fuck. And then with my women friends, sometimes it's different. Um, but Beatrice is a guy's girl. She's gonna see the guy's side. She's gonna defend the guy, and she's gonna be hypercritical on feminism. Or sorry, femininity. She's gonna be hypercritical of femininity. And that is one of the big things that you see between Beatrice and Melanie. They are both Latina women, but it's clear that maybe because of her disability or because the way that she was raised or however, Beatrice values strength. Melanie values vulnerability. That is one of the true differences between them. Beatrice lives in her masculine energy. Melanie lives in her feminine energy. And for some reason, masculine energy feels so threatened by feminine energy. And I don't know what it is. I think it's the feeling that they don't have access to it. I think Beatrice feels like she doesn't have access to her femininity to be a little bit more out of control, to be a little bit more sensitive with herself and with others. And she hides behind this honesty thing. I'm going to be blunt. I'm going to say it as it is. But in reality, she's kind of following the Scorpio honesty policy versus like a Sagittarius honesty policy. And this is something I live by. Both of those signs are honest as fuck, blunt as fuck. A Sagittarius is honest on accident. They literally have no choice. They'll say something and they won't understand that that it's hurtful or whatever. 9 times out of 10, a Scorpio knows it's going to be hurtful and doesn't care and says it anyways. And there's no like filter to say, this is really fucking mean. I'm going to really hurt this. There's like honesty and then using that honesty to try to hurt someone's feelings. And that is what Beatrice tries to do. She tries to hide the fact that she feels like she's lacking in something, and Melanie is the embodiment of that. Like, if you pay attention, Melanie is just so in who she is, right? Like it or not, love it or not, Melanie is into who she is. She gets excited. She gets hopped up. She feels. She's feminine. Very, I heard that she's a Scorpio sign. Very, very much water energy. Very much feminine. But Beatrice doesn't give that energy. And often, and I'm saying this from my own perspective, I don't often give feminine energy. And it's been a thing I've been judged about my entire life. Why can't you be more girly? Why can't you sit like a girl? And then when I dress and like crop tops and booty shorts, then everybody has a problem with that too. And I used to be so threatened by women who were so feminine and who could exist in that femininity and show their emotions and not be judged by it or judged for it. I used to be the most threatening thing to me. And I used to be really pissed off. Like, what do you mean you get to be emotional and I have to sit here and like keep it all together? Like, that's not fucking fair. And that's clearly shown in this thing with this one-sided beef with Beatrice. Beatrice is so hard on Melanie because she wants to express herself the way Melanie does, but she doesn't know how. And the only way that she can make herself feel better about it is to criticize it and to look down on it. Y'all think this is about a man? I wish I would stop making things about a man. No, this is about women trying to find out who they are and where they exist in the world that demands women to be feminine creatures and rewards them for that, although they condemn them for it, but really condemn women when they live in more masculine energy. And so the fact that Melanie doesn't get as much condemnation for her feminine energy that Beatrice feels like she should, she's harsher about it. The issue is that she's going on all these shows running her mouth about it. That's the part where it becomes an issue. Like, feel how you want to feel, but like, we really need to get STFU shirts. Shut the fuck up sometimes. Like, really, shut the fuck up sometimes. She goes on and she's like, well, I'm only talking about Melanie because they asked me about Melanie. And I don't watch After Sun, but I watch people recapping it. But like, she would bring up Melanie anyways. There's a polite way to answer shit sometimes, or just say, I'm not going to answer that question. But when you're on live, you choose what questions you answer. And you still chose to constantly talk about Melanie. And then she went on and was like, me and Melanie already had this conversation and we said, whatever happens outside of here, we know what happened inside the villa and we're good. But it's like, honey, I don't think she meant like this. I don't think she meant go this far. I don't think that's what she meant at all. I think she meant like be respectful. And if people try to twist your words, we're not going to let them. But there's no twisting your words. You are saying exactly what you want to say. And I love that for you, but I'm really happy that you got out the villa. I don't think her energy fit in this specific villa. And that's the hard thing. Is that Love Island is more than just the chemistry with the men. It's also the chemistry with the entire group. And Beatrice is cool as fuck, but I don't know if her energy really fit with this group. But let's talk about it. Let's get into Love Island. Looking for your next favorite author, your next obsession, or just a room full of people who get it? Then you need to be at the Pages Against the Patriarchy event on June 27th. This is a virtual event featuring 20 incredible authors coming together for a day of books, conversation, community, and stories that challenge the world around us. Whether you love romance, fantasy, sci-fi, indie gems, or books that leave you staring at the ceiling at 2 a.m., there's going to be something for you. Come hang out with the passionate readers, discover new authors, and celebrate storytelling that takes up space unapologetically. Again, that's Pages Against the Patriarchy, happening virtually on June 27th, featuring 20 authors. For more information, head to pagesagainstthepatriarchy.com. Bring your TBR list. It's about to get reckless. All right, guys. When we last left you, America was voting and we had to wait because Love Island systems was down. But America voted for who should be coupled up with the Bombshells. The Bombshells were Corbin and Soul and Jen. America voted the way I wanted them to, by the way. Put so sincere. I wanted that because I wanted to set my girl Melanie free. Like, and even she said it when you were talking about it. She was like, I don't have any harm. I don't want the drama anymore. I just want to be free. I love that for her. I love that for her so freaking much. And it made me really happy. But it also, because they put Jen with Gabrielle, which I did not see at all. They put Jen with Gabrielle and they put Kenzie with Caleb. And this kind of week is just them living out their lives. I got shit to say. Ooh. First thing is, Sincere's middle name should be Gaslighting. In fact, his first name should be Gaslighting and his middle name should be Sincere. Gaslighting ass Sincere. That boy, let me tell you, that man be gaslighting everybody, including himself. He be lying to everybody, including himself. He's saying he's confused, but he's not really confused, and he want to be with Soul, but then he missing Melanie. And everybody wanted Melanie to crash the fuck out. And she was so calm. She was just like, I accept what America does. I'm going to go sleep in Soul Ties because I need to feel my feels. Y'all did not get the shit y'all wanted from her. And I love that. First of all, I would have crashed the fuck out. I would have been like, fuck this, fuck this. She really, truly honored her own feelings, but left it alone. And the talk that she had with Soul was really sweet. And it's a reminder that Sincere was the person trying to ruin his relationship with each of them separately, where he's lying, was the thing that was fucking it all up. And I really like Corbin and Melanie together. I think they were great together. I think they were really cute. Maybe they're just too much like friends. But it started getting weird because Kenzie's doing the same thing that Sincere is doing. I don't like it on either end. Kenzie feels some type of ownership to Corbin, which is weird because they haven't been coupled up that long. They haven't been coupled up that long. And like, the only reason why she's felt this way, and I said it, where is it at? Kenzie is the reason why you shouldn't sleep with someone so fast. There are studies that say that when you sleep with someone, it actually releases these like endorphins or dopamine or whatever, some chemical in your body that makes you think that it's love. And you actually begin to feel that it's love or it's a stronger connection simply because your chemicals like mix together. So you're over here messing around with him all the time. Your feelings are going to get confused because now you have this physical connection with someone and you won't give anybody else a chance, even though this person might not be good. Kenzie and Corbin do not make sense to me at the fuck all. They just really don't. They don't make sense to me other than the fact that they're freaked out and highly sexual. I've never seen them have like a genuine conversation about anything, really, about their lives or whatever. I've never seen them, talk about like their personalities and their families and their values. I just been like, oh, I really like her. Oh, I really like her. This is a setup for failure. This is a setup for failure. Meanwhile, when Corbin was talking to Melanie, even though he wasn't getting what he wanted from her, and they kissed and they were, intimate sometimes when she did sleep in the bed, they talked about real shit. They had real fucking conversations. And I mean, I obviously maybe Kenzie and Corbin are having real conversations. We just can't see it. But it really feels like their attraction for each other is based straight out of lust. And that's shown all the way up into where Kinsey pulls Corbin for a chat, and she's mad because he won't kiss her, and she's trying to like entice him to do these things, and he won't do it. And then she gets pissed off, and she's pissed off if Corbin won't call her for a chat. But you guys aren't in a couple. Like right now, your whole goal is to explore Caleb, to give that a chance. And Kinsey led, just like Sincere did, led poor Caleb along to the point that when we get to this mailbox challenge, he was thinking that he was going to get a letter, and he got nothing. And that's the same thing that Sincere did to fucking Soul. Soul was led on. Soul was thinking that she was going to get a letter. Sincere got two. Soul was thinking that she was going to get a letter, and she got nothing. And it's interesting because it explores like, why are these two people kind of okay? And both of them are women, kind of okay with being the sneaky link, with being the side chick. And I'm not saying, I want to be clear. I'm getting this from some of Soul's actions and comments, like from the mailbox challenge where they were, or mailbox recoupling, where she said she just knew it. It was her intuition. And you can kind of feel from her conversations that she kind of knew, and you can kind of see from some of her reactions when Melanie is doing something. There's like a jealousy there. And not like a bad jealousy, but like, I know my man still has feelings for this person kind of type shit. But she was really okay with kind of going along with it, even after it started to be kind of clear from the pieing situation or the pieing challenge that we knew that Sincere wasn't being honest. We knew that Sincere was lying. And don't get me wrong, Melanie is bold as hell, but Melanie didn't know that Sincere was lying to her until afterwards. I'm coming for you, Melanie. As much as I love you, we gotta talk. Soul did. Kinsey gets mad until Corbin pulls her, and she's like, you don't talk to me during the day. You don't do any of this during the day. And then she entices him to kiss her and make out with her because they go up and they hide in the bedrooms. And she just says, we won't tell anybody. And she's very okay, again, being with the side chick. And you guys are going to be like, it's not that simple because they were a couple. Look, there's respect inside of the couples for the person that you're coupled up with. There's a respect that just happens there. Like whether you think you're going to couple up with them more or not, there should be a level of respect. And that level of respect breaks the moment when you entice someone to lie so that you can get what you want. And I really, it's this like concept that women really want to be loved and wanted. And sometimes we will sacrifice our values and our morals just for that. And even for Kinsey to go so far as to like blame Melanie for the reason why they're in this mess, because Melanie's so hooked on Sincere and she won't give Corbin a real chance. And that's what, no, the reason why you were in this mess, Kinsey, is because you had a fucking type. The man came in that was your fucking type, and you gave him no time of day. You played him so fucking bad. It was not okay. It was not okay. And he was so fucking chill about it. It's just Kinsey is on my shit list. Don't worry, guys. Kinsey is high on my shit list. But going back to like Soul and that challenge where they were putting pies, and so basically it's like sweetest pie. So there was something sweet that you would give someone, and then there was like a pie. And Beatrice felt like the questions that Soul got pied for were questions that Melanie should have got pied for. And I don't know whether I agree or disagree. I do think it's unfair for Soul. Regardless of how I feel of her being okay, Soul presents as a really confident person. And even Sincere said she has callous confidence and swag. But she did come in kind of bold, saying like, I don't care who it is, whoever the man, I'm going to take their man. And I think that the men don't like confidence, even if it's not real. Because I don't think that Soul's confidence is as real as we think it is, or as real as she thinks it is. I think it's confidence out of survival, um, which I love, which I think is beautiful. But I think that it's still like there's still layers to that. But she exudes confidence because she has to. And sometimes when we go through struggles in life, we have no choice but to suck it up. And like that gives to me, so it gives a lot of that energy. And to watch the boys kind of pick on her is so they give such weird energy about Soul, and I really don't understand that part. They pick on her, they call her out for being confident, and then they feel bad. But then they don't feel bad enough to do anything about it, really. And Casey in specific, his relationship with Soul is so fucking weird. It's so weird. It's so gross. Casey's on my shit list too, cause that shit's fucking disgusting. Like him and Amaya had so much like drama this week because he just can't. There's something about Soul, and I think that that is what the men hate the most. There's something about Soul as a beautiful woman that gives enough confidence to make them feel insecure about themselves and question themselves, but not enough vulnerability to make them want to get to know her. And I think that Soul made a comment when she left because Soul left last episode. They voted her out, which is just weird because Sincere gave the thing after he recoupled with Melanie. Shit was just weird. Sincere's just be doing weird shit. He at the top. Don't worry. Again. Um, but there's just something they just have this weird thing and Casey wants to pull Soul for a chat, but Soul kind of isolated herself with Sincere, but then made a comment about how this is Love Island, not Couple Island. But she was very committed to Sincere herself. And the only issue is that it didn't work out for her. Um, and that also has to be really jarring for her because someone said that you're taking all of these people who think they're the prettiest ones in a room and they're no longer the prettiest ones in a room, and you're doing this social experiment where you're seeing like how does that really affect them? And that's why I think Soul's confidence is like a something she has to put up because when those cracks start to come, you can start to notice it from her. And she makes comments about how she felt like not enough people pulled her for a chat and she wanted more of this, but it was like you also have to pull people for a chat too. Like that is a thing that you have to do. And you said that you were okay with stepping on all these girls' toes and you wanted to get to know everybody, but then you stepped back. And that was just really confusing energy. And it was just, I mean, the whole situation is sad, but it also made me question like, why why do these bombshells feel like they deserve something? They come in and they're like, I'm gonna come, and then again, prettiest person in the room. I'm gonna come in, and everybody's eyes are gonna be on me, and everybody's attention gonna be on me, and I'm gonna be the new hot commodity. And that was something that Soul could not handle. Um, she felt good when Sincere was giving her the attention, and she felt good when she felt like Sincere was the choice and she was picked. She didn't really care. I mean, she talked about it a little bit, but she really didn't care that nobody else was pulling her for chats because she felt very secure in that. But the moment that that stopped happening, she wasn't. And that's because she really thought that she was going to come in and shake up the whole villa. And someone I watched and they were like, that's probably on the producers. The producers are probably like, girl, you about to come and ruin all of this and they all going to be. And when she got there, like none of it happened. And that really is truly, on the producers. But like, it's clear that in this social experiment, we're also exposing what our beliefs are. And her feeling like she should automatically get something because she's coming in as a bombshell is telling. Because the truth is, no, you shouldn't. Yeah, you're coming in as a bombshell, but everybody has certain and coming in as a bombshell is fucking hard. I couldn't do it. Make me main cast or nothing. I don't wanna be hated. I don't wanna be breaking up nobody's couple. Make me main cast or nothing. But at the same time, having this expectation that someone is supposed to see you and see your beauty, and maybe that is part of something that she's happened, or maybe for her, if it's not been like her personality has been lusting off of her. And that was arguably people liked her personality for the most part, but they didn't lust after her. And that was something that really shook her to her core. I'm not disagreeing with some of the things that she said, but I do disagree with her. Like, I'm a bombshell. I'm supposed to get all the attention. Like, that's just not how it works. Like, every season is different and every group and cast of people are different. And if they're all coupled up, there it is still Love Island, guys. And I understand that part of the game is exploring connection, but you have control over that. Um, and so that was really hard to see. Another person who's on my shit list is Casey, cause his relationship with Amaya is just so weird. His relationship with Anaya is so fucking weird to me. Especially in context with Soul, because he's so weird about Soul. Like, he's so weird about her. He won't explore it, even though he thinks that Anaya is pissed off because he's trying to, like, Anaya's pissed off because you're just fucking around and not being honest and jokey and not playing games. If you want to explore fucking Soul, go explore Soul. But he's so like weird about it, and it's giving a lack of confidence. And remember, guys, Casey is the one who wasn't chosen. And that comes up in conversations this week as well. Like, him not being chosen and Anaya feeling like she's just the like sacrificial lamb. She's just the one that he landed on because that's the way that it ended up. And he's trying to make it not, but like you can tell that there's a lot of childishness and insecurity in Casey because every time Anaya wants to have a chat with him, here we go. I'm just not in the mood of arguing. Oh my God, grow the fuck up. How do you communicate in your other relationships? Like, someone please tell me what is happening. He's so that man drives me up the fucking wall. Having to listen to his emotions and then his freakouts and then him gaslighting people, and everybody's just saying, "Be fucking real." And then him going back and forth about Soul. Do I talk to Soul? Do I not talk to Soul? And then what he said after they vote him off, and I love one of the guys from checking him on this. What he says after they vote him off is like, I feel really bad because I feel like if I gave Soul more attention, maybe she would still be here. That's weirdo shit. That's weirdo shit when you're with Anaya and you just wrote Anaya all these love letters and shit, and now you're feeling guilty because Soul got voted off because if you gave her more attention, what the fuck? This is some weird shit. Like, Sincere's dirt is dirt, but it's dirt we can fucking see. Casey's dirt is just weird. And it's like hidden things, and he's very good at trying to make it seem like he is being upfront and honest and he does care, but he's always making backhanded comments. And that grandma comment, boy, you thought I was gonna forget about that shit? There's no fucking way. There's no way that you called Anaya a grandma because she doesn't want to do anything on bed with you in front of live TV. What? They show that shit on TV. Her parents have to watch that shit on TV if she does something with you. Or maybe she wants to, I don't know, explore the actual connection without making it really sexual. Cause look at fucking Kenzie. Kenzie can't do anything. She can't make a decision. She over here encouraging people to lie, cheat, and steal because she got physical. KC is just giving really weird energy. And now I want our girl Anaya to like find somebody else. Can we find her someone else? Please. Cause at this point, it's just giving it's just weird. And I can't handle it anymore. I don't know. It's again, it feels like it's based out of insecurity. It feels like his insecurity was definitely triggered, and Anaya is his safe space because he knows that that was all he had. And Anaya feels that. You hear her talk about it in conversations that she feels that. She feels that like he's not really all in. He's just all in because that was all he had to stay on the island. And Casey keeps like playing these games. And then some of the statements that he makes is just that drama is going to get real interesting. And Casa Amor is coming up. Guys, can we talk about this for a second? Apparently, Casa Amor is going to be shown in theaters. The way that I do not need to see men and or women lie, cheat, and steal on a big screen should be studied. Like, I don't I don't need that. I don't need that in my life. Sure don't. No, no, thank you. I don't need to see that on the live screen. If I could skip Casa Amor, I would. I think Casa Amor is just, it's like, when TV shows and movies kind of run out of storylines, and so they repeat the same storyline where the good guy becomes bad and it never feels right and it feels weird. Casa Amor feels like that. It feels like it's for the plot type shit and has nothing to do with it. It doesn't test people's connection. It doesn't make them stronger. It's just a setup for everyone. It's just a setup. And someone, whether it's girl or guy, is going to get hurt. And they know it. And that's why they keep it going. And how do I unsubscribe from this notion? I don't know, but can I please unsubscribe from this? I gotta watch it because I gotta give it to you guys, but man, I don't really want to. Talking about Sincere a little bit and the recoupling. So they did this mailbox challenge, and someone said that they did it because the Islanders are so freaked out that they had to remind them that, like, hey guys, you're on Love Island, not Sex Island. Was hilarious. Social media, y'all, you never fail me. You never fail me. I was surprised by Sincere's choice. So Sincere, the challenge was that they had to write these letters, not necessarily love letters, but letters to the person that they wanted to be in a couple with, and they put them in the mailboxes. And then if you both got a letter from the mailboxes, then you coupled up. But if one person put it in the mailbox and they didn't put it in yours, your mailbox is empty, you're screwed. And so obviously the ones that worked were, Bryce and Trinity, Casey and Anaya, and everybody was like, oh, that was so sweet. Whatever. That man turned right around and still talking weird shit about Soul. I don't. Um, Zach and Kata, who, by the way, went to the hideaway. Kata is freaky and I love her. She also makes me feel like Sophia Bush. I every time I hear her voice, I just hear Sophia Bush and I love it. I love Sophia Bush's voice. I love like the carefree, happy energy that she gives. Even when she was on One Tree Hill, I fucking loved it. And so getting to hear it now, it just makes me happy. She gives me joy. They were freaked the fuck out. But I skipped most of it because the hideaway is not. I don't need to watch them do their do. I don't need the Voyager shit anymore, personally. Um But Zach and Kata, they had put something in it. The Jen and Gabrielle was really simple. The hard ones were Caleb, Corbin, Kenzie, Melanie, Sincere, and Soul. Caleb for sure thought that he was going to get something in his mailbox, and he didn't. Kenzie got two. Soul definitely thought she was going to get something in her mailbox, and she didn't, and Sincere got two. Sincere picking Melanie shook me. I actually really liked Soul for Sincere, and I actually really liked Corbin for Melanie. I think that they brought a carefreeness into the relationship that I feel like you need, and an honesty and a groundedness. I think Kenzie is so hopped up on sexual adrenaline with Corbin, and Melanie and Sincere have this weird trauma bonding, tit for tat, like vibing, on adrenaline as well, not really grounding. And Corbin really felt like he grounded Melanie, and that choice really felt like it grounded Melanie as well. And honestly, Soul felt like she grounded Sincere. Like, they offered them a piece, and seeing them not choose that piece was kinda shitty. I'm happy for Melanie. I just want more for Melanie, and I want Melanie to want more for Melanie, and I'm still hoping that somebody comes on and gives Melanie, like, I really want someone, and I know Melanie is locked in, guys, she's locked in, she's not going nowhere, but I really want her to see that there is more out there than just a man who lies and gaslights and pretends and does all these things. Um, and I think that Sincere's just not there yet. There's a couple men on this island, and I say this a lot about men and men folk in dating shows, and some also women folk in dating shows as well, is that they go on these dating shows, but they're actually not ready. And I think Sincere's cool as fuck as a person, but his choices in a relationship are not. And I don't think that he is ready for a relationship. I think that Melanie is almost ready, and I think that she could be, and you guys are gonna be like, "What the fuck?" I think she could be with the right person. I think the person who makes her feel secure, she could be ready, but they have such an insecure attachment to each other. It's so frustrating to watch. It makes great TV, but it's so frustrating to watch. But I can't blame Melanie, even though I love her and I'm gonna put her on my shit list only because, like, these hoes ain't loyal. These hoes ain't loyal. But lastly, we'll get to this is a long episode. Lastly, we'll get to the decision to remove Sol and Gabrielle and the men folk being upset about it. So they have to make a decision. America voted again, and they voted who their favorite couples were. And Gabrielle and Jen, Kenzie and Corbin, which I died laughing because Kenzie was so butthurt. She gave like cheerleader energy. Why won't they pick me? Um, so butthurt. And Sol and Caleb, because they had to couple up because of the mailbox challenge. Obviously, Sol and Caleb were going to be at the bottom. Nobody expected differently from that. So the remaining four, which we're now calling our fabulous four, the four that we want to make it all the way to the end, which is Kata, Anaya, Melanie, and Trinity. I don't even care what men they with. I just with them. I just stay with them. This one, the women had to pick which one from the three remaining men at Vulnerable had to go home, and the men had to pick women. They picked Sincere. The men picked Sincere. Are we surprised? No. Sincere. They picked Sol. We're not surprised. Sincere wanted Sol out of there so Sol couldn't go run back to Melanie and be like, yo, your man has been. He wanted his dirt out. He wanted his temptation out. He thought that that was going to be like the right move. Okay, cool. Love this for you. Okay. And again, like I said, the men have this weird thing about Sol where she's like the whore. That's how they treat her. Like, there's the Madonna and the whore complex. They treat her like the whore. They lust after her, but there's something about her that feels so unattainable. One of my coworkers described her beauty as like an art piece, right? And she feels like porcelain and unattainable and like, ugh, that like they resent it and they don't feel like they can be in a relationship with it. And it's so weird. Like they would love to have like probably one night stand and they love to flirt with her and try to keep her along, but they don't invest in her. And it's very clear. Um, and on the flip side, it the girls, I like the girls' reasoning, personally. The boys' reasoning is the boys' reasoning. I would have fucking kicked Kenzie out. Like, high key, I would have just let Kenzie go. She been playing around with these man's emotions. If Sincere was up there, the girls would have let Sincere go. They've been playing around with these man's. She been playing around with these man's emotions. She been jumping and jump. Like their reason for Gabrielle is that he jumps and jumps, and I agree. They got rid of Gabrielle because they said that he always seems like he's waiting for the next thing, and he does. He's come in with that energy, and even though he's only been with Beatrice and Jen, he's always, even when he was with Bea, he always gave that energy like, you're cool, we're cool, but I do want to know what's coming next. And the same with Jen. This is where the situation I'm in now. I'm going to dive right in, but I'm never going to be fully in it because I'm just waiting for the next new bombshell. And I agree with that logic. Like, this is still Love Island, and these people are still trying to find a real, true connection through the craziness, through the bullshit, but at the same time, find it nonetheless. And Gabriel just seems like he's here to just count women like he counts sheep. And not in a bad way. Like, I love that for you. But they want to give Caleb, who got screwed the fuck over by Kenzie, the opportunity to really, truly have the experience and to really have the chance to find it, where it seemed like Gabriel maybe wasn't in it for that reason. And it gave the same thing like when Andrea left and everybody was mad about that. We were all happy about that though. Although Rob wasn't, but Rob stay on my shit list sometimes. But it's I agreed with it. The men folk were all butthurt and tough, and it's so funny how the women can respect their decision, but the men folk are just like, oh, this is such a stupid shit. They kicked my best friend off. I'm so hurt. I'm so hurt. And I'm just like, grow up. The comments about you may not get breakfast. It's been interesting, guys. There's obviously so much more I could talk about, but like those are highlighting, we've been here for a while. Those are highlighting some of the things that I've noticed and some of the things that to me that they say about what's going on in the world right now. And that's, reality TV show does it better than almost anything else, highlights the way that the world is viewed and that you viewed it. Love Island, although kind of gross sometimes and a little drama and kitschy, also shows like what happens to pretty people when they're not just a pretty person anymore. And I fucking love it. But last thing, we're gonna get to our shit list. Let's see. On the bottom of my shit list, Zach, he still be kind of weird. I gotta figure out how many people do I put on this shit list. Hold on. I need to pull it up. All right. There's a total of 6 people on the shit list. So the bottom of my shit list, I'm gonna put Zach. I'm gonna put Melanie. That's really hard. It's not gonna be Kata. It's not gonna be Caleb. Jen, you know what? Jen, because her and Kenzie are having this weird energy with each other. And I don't fucking like it. Then we're gonna have in the middle, the 2 spots before the top is gonna be Kenzie and motherfucking Casey. Cause what the fuck? What the fuck, guys? I can't. And then at the top of the shit list, again, is going to be Sincere. Although, Casey, you keep playing and you gonna make yourself at the top of that. And Kenzie, you keep playing too. You might also find yourself at the top of that list. Low key, if I could share the top, it'd be you and Sincere. But Sincere's done more dirt all around collectively, so that's why he made it to the top. But that's my Love Island shit list pyramid of the week. Sunday's episode comes out yesterday when you guys hear this, and I'm going to be watching Sunday through Friday, hopefully, again, and give you guys more insights. I will talk to you guys next time. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Basically Unbothered Recap. Gabby Gabs Podcast.